Hey, and welcome back to Around the Block with GoodBlock. Erika and Leah here from Team GoodBlock, and today we are talking with Jesus and Lorenzo from the Fortis team about what they've got cooking. So it's going to be a really fun one. Stay tuned. And before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you can get notified when we drop more content like this. All right, let's get started and bring in Lorenzo and Jesus. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey
Hey,
Erica. Hey
Hey,
Leah,
thanks
how's
so
it
much
going?
for being here.
Thank you
uh,
for the invite. We're very excited to talk about a lot of things that we've been building in Telos, and I think now is the right moment.
yeah, thanks for having us. We have a lot to talk about, to be honest.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, it seems like it. So let's get started. So, can you guys, for any of our listeners who haven't been in the know, can you guys give us just a kind of brief introduction to what Fortis is and what you guys do?
I like to see Fortis as decentralized, open digital money. Uh, you might all be thinking like, well, isn't that the whole point of crypto? And yes, it is, but we want to give Fortis the personification of actually becoming something that inside the intangible world of crypto, it can still become tangible. We want to make Fortis be something that users can actually use in their daily lives for payments and for other activities that are part of the financial industry.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's something that so many people need right now, especially, in developing countries and places where that's just not something that people have easy access to, right? So, you guys just celebrated your first anniversary a year ago. Congratulations. That's very exciting. And then you guys also recently launched a new bridge. Can you tell us a little bit about that bridge?
Before we talk a little bit about the bridge, yeah, it's been a year. I always like to talk about the experience because we can say that we've been both in a bullish and a bear market, and we're still surviving, which is something that not many projects, including projects that had a good liquidity depth, they were supposed to survive this, and they've disappeared in matter of days. And us, a project that has literally come out of nothing, and we're still here surviving. So I think that's something very important. And I think that now that we've experienced both of best worlds, we can say that Fortis is going to stay here for the long run. And then in terms of the bridge, that was something that we've been working on for quite some time. And I think that is one of the key elements that will help us grow Fortis and grow the demand of Fortis. Uh, just to put it a little bit into context, Fortis is a project that launched on Telos Native. It's part of the old EOS IO that today we call the Antelope Coalition, and a beautiful name, by the way. And yeah, the idea was that Telos has a lot of technological advances, and it also has a very strong community. So we decided to build our products and build Fortis in here because we wanted to follow what it feels like actually making a project out of nothing. We all know that Telos has no VCs. Telos started basically that Fortis started. So it's always been like that little spine that I've had, that I've always wanted to follow what Telos has done and what they've achieved up to today. And then that goes back to the bridge. The bridge is something that will allow users to bridge their Fortis over to Telos EVM and other EVM addresses. The idea behind this is that we're all used to Ethereum. We all know how Ethereum works. It's one of the first generation blockchains, and everybody's familiar with it. And now that Telos has created one of the fastest EVMs up to today, we're very excited to bridge Fortis over to this Telos EVM. We think it's going to allow Fortis to get a lot of traction, more knowing that users already know how to use this technology. And that's it pretty much. Lorenzo here is the big man, the big head behind it. He spent a lot of hours working extremely hard to make this happen, and we're extremely excited because since we launched it on Friday, we've had about what I think 300,000 fort already bridged, and
Yeah.
that counting that we haven't added utility yet. So that's how excited the community is, and I think it's something that will soon become very exciting for everybody.
That's awesome. And you kind of touched a little bit about on this question, but what's the purpose for people to move their tokens over to the EVM? And is the bridge only for Fort tokens, or is it for any other tokens on your platform?
Yeah, so Lorenzo can add a little bit about that on the technical side, but essentially, the bridge allows you to bridge Fortis from Telos native, which is basically where we were born, over to Telos EVM. Our intentions right now is to give more utility to the EVM side, but always kind of rely on our native sides. For example, we have our staking contracts on native because for us, they work more efficiently. It allows users that don't have that kind of capital expenditure to use these other chains. So it gives special advantages. Telos EVM is something that is got the hype right now. It's based out of Ethereum, so everybody knows how to use it. We're gonna be focusing on Telos EVM for now. Fortis will do pretty interesting stuff with the EVM that we have, and yeah, pretty much. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, Lorenzo.
Yeah, so the idea of bridging Fortis to the Telos CVM is just to be able to support more dApps. Right now, like the standard on blockchains is Ethereum. People know how to use it, and we know that Telos CVM right now it's the fastest EVM available there. Also, one good thing that it has is that the gas fees are stable. You always have the same gas fee. So, for example, in our case on the bridge, we have been able to calculate how much it costs on Telos to bridge Fort from native to EVM. And we can say to everyone how much it is exactly without any problems, just thanks to that. Obviously, what we want to do is support many dApps there. We can say more, really, because Jesus knows what I'm talking about, but we can say what we are planning to do there on really, it's going to be, I think, like weeks, but that's going to be like the first step and why everyone, I think, it's going to start bridging more fort because it's going to be interesting what we are going to do there. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a teaser.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, we get multiple. All right, that's exciting. Do you see other projects that might need to create their own bridges to EVM as well, or are there other projects that use Fortis or any kind of partnerships like that?
We thought about creating a multi-token bridge because of the amount of work that we have right now, and Fortis is our main priority, and our community is our main priority right now. The way that the bridge has been built is only compatible with the Fortis token. So essentially, right now you'll only be able to bridge Fortis to from native to Telos EVM, and soon to Binance Smart Chain. Um, the idea in future is that other products of our ecosystem will also be born on native, and due to that we'll have to use a bridge to bridge it over to the EVM chains. So in future we will be focusing on trying to create a multi-token bridge. For now, we don't have any intentions in opening publicly, as in any project can potentially come and they can use their they can bridge their token through us, mainly because we want to concentrate on the Fortis ecosystem first. But everything that we're building is based around the ability of allowing other projects to come on board. An example to this is the new version of the Fortis Earn that we recently released. It's basically our staking platform, and we've offered Telos and soon Destiny Coin to be able to get staked through there. So in future we are considering opening it up.
Yeah, and also just to point out, like Jesus said, we right now support like having Rex staking on our platform, just using the normal Rex staking contracts on native, and we also with our block producer that I think that we are going to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about it on a moment. We also made a site just dedicated to staking Telos,
Oh,
the
cool.
liquid staking on Telos EVM, and that's something that we wanted to do it with our block producer trademark, but right now it's totally usable, and it's also from the Fortis community.
So in summary, right now we have a Fortis Earn, which is a staking platform where you can stake your Fortis and you can stake your Telos, and soon you'll be able to stake your Destiny coin. Apart from other projects that we're in talks with, we also have the Fortis Bridge, which is a very easy and convenient way to bridge your Fortis from Telos Native to Telos EVM and soon to Binance Smart Chain. Concentrations will be always in Telos and then move across the Antelope Coalition. And then lastly, we have the liquid staking for Telos. We created an easy interface for users to be able to stake their Telos on EVM and get Telos. And then we have the block
Fantastic.
producer as well.
Yeah.
And all of that in the times of a year.
Yeah, you guys really have been pretty
Can
busy.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, can you tell us more about your block producer and how that's going? When did you officially become a block producer?
Whoa, that's a great question. When was that, Lorenzo?
I,
I think
I
I even
think
have pictures.
I think it was in October, end of September, first days of October, 21st September. Yeah. So
21st of
Oh,
September.
nice.
yeah,
Wow,
so
Congratulations.
is it that long that I've been to Spain? Over a month
yeah,
now. Yeah, because I
yeah,
had to go. So basically, what happened was, so long story short, one day I wake up in the morning. Well, what I consider the morning, because I always work at night and I wake up late. But yeah, I wake
yeah,
up. I'm speaking with Lorenzo and we're talking about the block producers. Blah blah blah, blah. So we go like, well, we're already creating products that basically don't exist yet. So why don't we use our own block producer? And then that's essentially how the idea started. So Lorenzo, he's a software engineer and he runs his um, basically software and hardware company, and he had a spare server, so we was like, okay, I got a spare server, let's try it out and see what we can do with it. So I was like, all right, there's certain parts that we need to buy, and well, in Spain they take too much time to arrive and the import taxes are very high. So we purchased them in the UK. They came here in the UK, and then I catch the flight and I went to Spain. I bring the parts, and then we build it onto the server, and that's how it started.
Oh my gosh, that's more
Yeah,
affordable than the import taxes to
yeah.
Spain.
yeah.
So
But Jesus came for more
yeah,
reasons, but
well, I had to
you
come as
know,
well to visit my family and all of that. So
I
we
just
took
have
that.
to imagine that's the only reason you showed up.
yeah,
Imagine, yeah. So we built the server. We spent the 7 days in. Well, we actually spent more than 7 days on testnet.
I think it was like 11 or 12 days on
Yeah,
testnet.
yeah.
Yeah,
We spent the more than the minimum amount of time in testnet to test that everything was working fine, and then we deployed on mainnet. And yeah, essentially, the idea as to why we wanted to create our own block producer, why Fortis wanted to create its own block producer, is because we're creating a series of applications, and basically Telos helps us grow with the technology that Telos has built, and we want to give back to Telos in a way that we can help the chain that we strongly have been part of since over a year ago. And and yeah, all our products are running through our BP APIs. And our intentions is that as soon as we become at least a paid standby, because we run our own servers, we're not using any third party provider or any data centers. We've got to update our parts, and our intentions is as soon as we start generating revenue from the block producer, we're going to be upgrading the parts so that we can help Telos continue its growth. And that's something very important for me since I started Telos, because since I first interacted with Telos and talking about Douglas and Jesse, and Justin, I still remember that day. Actually, I was looking for a place where I could build Fortis, and I didn't know what chain I wanted to build Fortis in, because majority of the chains, they don't even know that you exist. So when I met Telos through Destiny World, and they introduced me to Telos, and I saw what Telos was building and the people that was behind it, and that friendliness that everybody has in Telos, and how everybody's trying to help each other. That's what encouraged me to build Fortis on Telos. And I still remember I got added on a group chat, and there was Douglas, there was Jesse, there was Justin in it, and they didn't know me at all, and they were willing to help us and guide us on how to start Fortis. So since that time, I've always had like a special thing for Telos, where I've wanted to in some sort of way help Telos out at the same time that Telos is helping us. And that's essentially the reasons why we've decided to launch this block producers. As soon as we have the necessary parts upgraded onto our server, we're going to be looking onto building a Hyperion that we can provide for the European Union, because I think that is something that we kind of need. And that's it pretty much.
Very cool. Yeah, there's a lot of important services there. Definitely good to have more Hyperion all over the world, right?
Yep.
And can you go ahead and tell us the name of your BP again, so we can give a vote for you
Fortis
guys?
blocks.
All right. So if you guys
Well,
want to
that's
support
easy.
Jesus and Lorenzo, yeah, Fortis blocks. That is easy to
Yeah.
remember. So throw them some votes.
Very exciting times, I think.
Yeah.
Even though the markets is a bloodbath, and we're constantly getting very negative information in the crypto market and stuff like that. I still think that it's the best time to build. Is the best time to kind of concentrate and see how you can risk mitigate projects and how you can do things better, and get ready that I think we're gonna have a pretty big bull market, because it's been over a year, and people are building. The What I consider the top players are not becoming the top players anymore. Users are starting to realize that there's more things apart from Bitcoin, apart from Ethereum, that are much better. From my point of view, in my opinion, the so-called crypto experts always try to target the people there and not the people that are actually trying to make that change. And I think that sooner or later, well, people are already starting to realize, and Telos is a clear example of that. The huge growth that we've had in a year's time. Literally, I remember when we started Fortis, I think Telos was like about like a 10 million market cap or something like that.
Wow.
And then it shot all the way to 300 million in what, like 4 months, 6 months, or something like that. So that should prove that alternative coins are becoming the solution. Yeah.
Yeah, right. People are
Yet
realizing.
again, do your own research.
Of course. So then, do you guys want to go ahead and we can move on and talk about the exciting announcement that you guys have planned for this Friday?
Ooh, an
Yep.
exciting
Yep.
announcement.
Yep. That is being something that we've been working quite a lot on it. You want to start,
Okay.
Lorenzo?
I can start. So, long story short, the thing is that Jesus came one day to me and say, "Look, we need to do this, and we need to do it. There's no question. How can we do it? So like we made like a brainstorm. I will say now what it is, but the thing is that we got a brainstorm, and he said, okay, if you are capable of doing this, then we can change how people interact with the blockchain. And it's something that we make like a really, really small proof of concept on 24 hours, and it worked. And it was like, okay, it's time to do it. So we are launching our own wallet, Fortis wallet. We are officially announcing it on Friday, with much more information to come. So we are like giving you a little small sneak peek, and it's the first time that we are talking about it here and on public. The little sneak peek that we can talk to you about it is that we are able to merge native and EVM on the same wallet, sign both of them with the same wallet, and without the needing of using third-party apps and more than one app, to be honest. So the idea is to have everything on one place, all decentralized. So we are making our wallet, and the wallet's going to be self-custodial. So the thing is that the users are going to have their own private keys. We are going to have access to that. Obviously, that's all going to be on the phone. We are also obviously we say that this is a phone app for both Android and iOS, and we are also seeing to have it like that some phones, for example, the iPhone right now has like this secure enclave where everything is stored, and that's like non-hackable from the software side, more or less. And we are trying to have those private keys there. We are able to use the same keys for native and EVM, and that opens us a lot of possibilities there.
A whole
And
new world. We
yeah,
basically right now we have Telos native, we have Telos EVM. Telos EVM is built on top of Telos native, yeah. But
Yeah.
the problem that I've seen for quite some time, and there's an array of users that have also seen this, is that we have wallets, but each wallets focus on each side of the chain. So one focus on Telos native, another one focus on Telos EVM, but we don't really have one that actually focuses fully on both parts.
Right. And having a way to also, I don't think we have a way that within one app you can on mobile send Telos or
Exactly.
tokens from one account to another, right?
Yeah. So we do have, like for example, we have the typical MetaMask for EVM, and for native we have Anchor, we have Wombat. Um, our intentions is that we want to bring one app that concentrates on smartphone usability, where people can actually interact with the chain. They can send, they can deposit, they can transfer, they can do whatever they want from their phone without having to use multiple apps, without having to use a computer. And then on top of that, with the way that we're going to be building it, and this has already been tested, and it works, is functional, is that you'll be able to, let's put it this way, have one private key, and with that private key you'll be able to have your public key from Telos native and your public key from Telos EVM. So that essentially means that you have both sides of the chain covered. And I think that that's pretty revolutionary in terms of um, users are going to start coming easier to a chain when they have a mobile application that they can interact with the chain without having to rely on having to use a computer, or having to wake their wallet straight from a block explorer or things like that. Like, we need simplicity, and that's one of the key things that Fortis has always been focusing on. We want to make things easy, because we know that the users, they want to do things fast. They want to do things without having to think too much about it, because if they think too much about it, most likely they won't do it. Putting an example to it, when we migrated contracts from the old staking contract to the new one, it was literally pressing two buttons and you had already migrated and staked again on the new contract. So that's how we want to make things simple.
Yeah.
And we're extremely excited about it. We wasn't gonna talk about it today, but it's been too long that me and Lorenzo has holding it in, so we was like, come on, let's just say something today.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing what you could today. Really appreciate it. And we'll definitely be keeping our eyes out on Friday for more information on that. That's super exciting and
Yeah.
definitely something the ecosystem needs. So excited for more info on that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, what we have said today, it's revolutionary. I think that what we are going to say on
Yeah, the
Friday is
next
going
thing.
to be even more revolutionary. But yeah,
Awesome.
keep an eye on that.
All right, good. That's a great little teaser. I think we all will be on the edge of our seats waiting for that one. Well, great. So I think that pretty much wraps up what we wanted to discuss today. So a couple of more questions for you guys really quick that we like to ask our interviewees if possible. So what's your favorite blockchain app or project right now? And then we'll have you tell us about where we can find you guys after that.
Favorite app right now for
Mm.
me,
Wha-
I think Decide Voter. And I
Oh,
don't want to say because we've been included in the good now. I think Decide Voter, but I think and I actually helped Decide Voter with the Spanish and Portuguese translations,
Yeah, that's right.
and I think Decide Voter is something very important, because right now crypto in general is too early. There's no legal frameworks. There's nothing around it yet, and I think that isn't gonna come until like 10 years or God knows when, because it's a market that is constantly changing. Something that I've started to get into has been the DAO idea, decentralized autonomous organization. I think that is something pretty interesting, and I believe that in the future we won't have public limited companies or private limited companies. I think they will run as a DAO, and well, when you are in a private company or in a public company and you are a stakeholder, you want to take decisions. These decisions, they always take too long.
Mhm.
You gotta do written scripts and all of that. So I think you know this concept of a DAO is very important. And if you combine the Decide engine with it, then you could be a stakeholder of a company, and there could be some sort of some decision that has to be made, and you just go on the app and you click on whatever you want to decide, and you basically casted your vote, and you've saved up all that money and time. So I'm very pro against the Decide voter, to the point that we've also included it into Fortis. So Fortis has some sort of voting system. I'm not saying that Fortis is a DAO, because there's certain things that I still think that it needs more time of work. But but if you hold Fortis, you can take decisions on Fortis. Like your Ford counts as a voice, and that has been run through the Decide engine before. We've actually had two so far that has run through the Decide engine, and I actually used the Decide Voter app to vote for Fortis, and well, for Telos things as well.
Very cool. How about you, Lorenzo?
yeah, I will say like the same as Jesus. I think that we are really much into DAOs. I've been investors in some little things, and that casting your votes on some investments is like a nightmare. That not for the regulation, but a lot of paperwork needs to be done just to cast your vote.
Mm.
And the thing is that holding that token that makes you able to vote for whatever it is, and the thing that it can be like really instantly, because maybe it's an idea that you have had and you don't need to wait for a big meeting to happen or whatever. It's just okay, we are going to announce that we are going to make this decider vote. We are just putting it there, and you have now whatever time to vote, and you vote as one of the holders of that project. Because the thing is that people that hold for that project are really the ones that know what is the best for the project, and that's from my side, you know. And we can say that, for example, for all the feedback that we got, that we get from our community, we have had some ideas and we have made some modifications on even last minute modifications, just hearing from our own community. And with all these DAOs, it's really easier. It's really easy for anyone to be able to say, okay, I want this, and I'm going to vote for this. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks you guys for your thoughts. So finally, where can we find more information about Fortis and keep up with your guys's with the work you guys are doing?
Best place to learn more about Fortis is on our main website, which is fortisfinance.io. A place where you can get response to any of your questions ASAP is our Telegram group chat, which is Fortis coin altogether. We also have our Twitter accounts, which is Fortis_coin. You can head over to our Fortis Twitter account, and that's basically the place where we constantly set announcements and talk about Fortis in an official way. Our Telegram community is mainly focused to help out and just have a nice chat with the Fortis fam. And then we also have our YouTube channel where we tend to host our Fortis Fridays. And that's it pretty much. Those are our main social channels.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again so much for your time. It was
Thank
great chatting
you.
with you and learning what you've
Thanks
been.
for having us.
It's been
Yeah.
awesome. Really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Can't wait for Friday. I've heard a little
Same.
behind the scenes.
I got
of
even
what's
more
coming.
excited now.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Totally.
great.
Beautiful then. All right, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for welcoming Fortis to Around the Block, and I hope you'll have a beautiful day.
Of course. Thanks again, guys. You too. See ya.
Bye.
See you.
Now we are going to go to Nathaniel for Moss's Market Minute. Put a minute on the clock, right, Glenn?
This week in crypto, there haven't been any huge breakouts, except for maybe CeeLo and Curve DAO, ApeCoin and Dogecoin, all that had 40% gains. What kind of a world that we live in that the meme coin is the best coin on the market right now? The market cap for the overall fell 2.8%, which isn't too much of an overall change from the last few weeks. The market has kind of come to an equilibrium over the last few months. I think that has a lot to do with people holding and not buying new cryptos. Even the biggest losers this week were only 13%. I personally am worried about the domino effect from FTX. While I never had any FTT, many exchanges did, and currently it's $1.28. BlockFi and AAX Hong Kong have both declared bankruptcy in relation to FTX. So major exchanges falling down one right after another. Let's hope this domino effect doesn't continue. Do your research. There are great projects out there, and that's it for me.
Yeah, I think at this point, I'm just going to write off any company that even remotely was in business with FTX as a loss and assume that they are also going to be bankrupt soon.
I mean, maybe not. So the bigger ones have already started to fall, but there are so many coins out there that you can still trust exchanges for the most part, just not ones that promised huge returns on your money.
I actually also read that back in June of 2022, FTX actually bailed BlockFi out. So they were like even more closely tied.
Mm-hmm. They were tied together.
I read that too, and it turns out the reason they did it was to get the BlockFi customer funds onto their platform to bail themselves out internally.
Interesting, right? Wow, that's wild. All right. Well, thanks so much, Nathaniel.
You're very welcome, guys.
All right, and now it's time for our BS of the week. Block stuff. There were a few different candidates for our BS of this week, but let's jump into the most controversial first, shall we? I would just like to take a moment to acknowledge the absolute comedy of errors that is taking place on Twitter.com right now. The latest piece I've seen is that Elon Musk has taken to Twitter to call out Apple for charging 30% tax on any app that's listed in their app store. This means all of his $8 subscriptions would be taxed 30%. He's also claiming that Apple is behind the scenes threatening to delist Twitter from their app store for hate speech and misinformation. Things just keep going from bad to worse for Elon. What have you guys heard about this?
I've kind of tried to not watch it as much because I just know it just feels like it's going down in flames and we all don't know when it's going to happen. It's interesting that he now has something to say about, the App Store. This has actually been a huge point of contention for a lot of the tech space, Apple's 30% fee that they take, right? And they're also cracking down. They've committed to cracking down on even external purchases that someone can go outside of the App Store or outside of the app itself and still use. They're generally really cracking down on these kinds of things, and they've been getting flack for it for a while. But of course, now that it affects Elon, he's got to bring it back up to the fold again.
I mean, what do you think about a tax? I can't decide. I mean, 30% seems big, but I do think there is value in their app store. It's not just listed, right? They curate it because they want to make sure apps are safe or doing what they say.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it's almost as a developer, that's your fee to Apple for access to their user base, for the users, like you mentioned, they vet these apps hard, right? We know that from Decide Voter. It took a solid couple of weeks before we even could get Decide Voter on the App Store, and that was with some back and forth with their team saying, oh well, if I can't log into this without a Telos account, then we don't think it should be on the App Store. And so we kind of had to have this whole back and forth with them about it and get them access to a test account and stuff like that. It was.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of overhead for Apple right there. So maybe that's part of the reason for the 30% being so high. I mean, it definitely is going to discourage.
Yeah, builders. It just still seems really high, right? In general, and this is, like we said, something that apps have complained about in the past, is that 30% is just way too high for Apple to take that much of their cut, right? When so much of development work is front loaded with all the costs and stuff, right? So it's like these apps are trying to probably scrounge back any funds they spent on development, and then Apple gets to just take 30% of those.
Well, my closing thought on it is, if I were Elon, I would just play nice, because he does have to get that money to pay back his loans he took out to buy Twitter. So I don't know what his strategy is. It seems to be just complaining loudly about everything. We'll see how that works out for him. I would be quiet if I were him, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I'm not a brilliant billionaire, so.
Well, I think he's gotten this far by saying what he wants and people around him doing it. We'll see. Like you said, we'll see how long that works for him.
We will see.
So another piece of block stuff, of course, we did touch on a little bit with Nathaniel's Market Minute, but BlockFi, about midnight last night, our time, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They have an estimated somewhere between $1 and $10 billion in liabilities, which I'm not sure why it's such a wide range. That's a pretty wide margin for error, I think.
Seems
And then
like they don't even know what they have or don't have. That's what that makes me feel.
Which is maybe the problem itself. And like we discussed also, BlockFi was bailed out by FTX in 2022. So they're just another in a long line of exchanges that are suffering from the FTX, FTX's downfall, right? Another Japanese exchange, Bitfront, also shuts down with all this as well. So it's been crazy to see this kind of domino effect of what's happening to other exchanges that were involved with FTX. So moving on, we actually had one more piece of BS, but this is a different kind of BS. Leah, do you want to tell us about the other BS?
This is some block stuff, and it's Bikechain. Bikechain is back. Bike stuff. Yeah. Yes, bike stuff. Bikechain is back. A number of months ago, they came to the Telos ecosystem looking to build a bike sharing app. And they were innovating in real time. Douglas Horn, CEO of GoodBlock, gave them some feedback, and they went quiet for quite a while. I thought the project was dead, never to see the light again. But today we wake up and open our Telegram channels, and boom, they've launched an app.
So if you want to go check out Bikechain, it's very exciting. They've just launched at launch.bikechain.app, now live on the EVM. So you can connect Strava and MetaMask there, and we'll link you down below with some more info.
Do you bike, Erika?
I sort of. I have an e-bike that I ride longer distances with my godmother. So
that's so cool.
It's kind of funny. It's one of those, like, there's a lot of purists out there that'll give us a lot of hate when we're riding. But we're like, hey, I went 40 miles today. How far did you go?
Exactly. Wow. If people haters gonna hate, they will hate.
Haters gonna hate. That's right. How about you?
I actually don't know how to ride a bike.
What?
That is a factoid, yes, about me. Anytime.
Do we need to cut? What?
But, maybe it's time to learn and stand in solidarity with the biking community.
Well, and this way you can share your bike. So if you're worried about not using it quite as much, this bike share app means you're not going to have to use it all the time.
Exactly. But anyway, none of this is financial advice, by the way. Everyone should know that. We are just, flying from the seat of our pants, talking about what we see. Bikechain, hopefully we can get them on one of our shows soon and learn more about the intricacies of what they are doing. And yeah, but we don't know anything about it. It just popped up again. So exciting, but we'll have to learn more.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, I think that's it for today's episode. So once again, if you liked today's episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of our content, hit that notification bell and subscribe, and you will get more content from us. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching, and have a great day.